All right, folks, I'm here in my kitchen, and I wanted to talk to you about hopelessness, because I think we got a really bad situation, and people, for some reason, are just not facing up to it. So one of my volunteers grew up on welfare. His whole family's on welfare, and he refuses to do it. So, but he didn't develop a lot of skills, marketable skills, and we have this really tough economy that is not kind to those who aren't connected, and those who really don't know how to sell themselves. There's just not a lot of opportunity out there right now. And so he's living, he's renting a desk and living a tough situation. But he refuses to take any welfare. And so he's trying to be proud, but it's really, really tough. And I got another volunteer who's an ex-Marine and young and healthy. And he's like okay with it all because he knows that he can make it even if civilization collapses. But what is the essence of civilization? It's each of us, the ones who work and actually produce things, producing things for other people, and other people producing things for other people, and trading. And that's the essence of civilization. And for those of us who can't produce or have difficulty, like myself in the present situation, being blind and having neuropathy and a whole bunch of other health problems, I'm completely dependent on civilization continuing to exist. And that can happen as long as people don't get in the habit of trying to steal from each other too much, because basically civilization works when people produce for each other, and civilization collapses when everybody starts stealing from each other. And I'm afraid that at least our political institutions are both sides want to steal from the people and give to the military and give to the powerful. And for some reason it's just crazy. My opponent has proven over and over again that she'll do anything for the military, anything for the war machine, and anything for the big corporations. And the big corporations use the government to make themselves big and to steal directly from the people via the contracts they have with the government, or prevent any kind of real competition by using the government to protect them from their competition. And so you've got both parties, the Republicans and Democrats, doing everything for the big corporations, and meanwhile they've set up a financial system where the big corporations can send all the jobs overseas and make a lot of money that way, and destroy our capability to make things here. So that's why nobody's employed. I really don't know anybody who's employed actually making productive stuff. And almost everybody I do who is employed is somehow, most of that money is coming from the government. Well, it's coming to an end. The government can only tax from the productive sector, or they can print money, or which is stealing, or they can borrow money, which is stealing from the future, as long as people are willing to lend them money. So, and as the more powerful they are, the more they make these big corporations powerful and help them steal by not having competition, or by using the government's means to protect them and financially reward them. So if you think there's hope in voting for my opponent, if you think she's actually going to be for peace and actually be for controlling these large corporations and the banksters that support them and own them, well then please go ahead and vote for my opponent. But please pay attention and think, because how can we possibly ever get things right when we're stealing from each other? We've got to stop stealing. And even in the healthcare debate, somebody like me, I mean, healthcare system's been a success for me. It's expensive, but it worked. I mean, I survived AIDS, and I'm still alive. And there's a lot of other people who are alive because of the healthcare system. But to go ahead and make these government rules that completely corporatize it and give it all over to the HMOs and restrict competition so that entrepreneurial folks who have other ways of doing things in the healthcare system have no chance. I just got to give you one example where things have gotten a little relaxed in India. India has a big problem with blindness. And this guy, this doctor, realized that just going about the usual way, he was never going to be able to put a dent in the blindness problem in India. So he figured out a way to put together a factory and mass produce lenses, and put together basically a factory to do cataract implants, and teach people who had special skills in each part of the eye. So you had an assembly line for cataract operations. You may not want that, and I may not want that, but somebody who's blind and can't afford $10,000, or a society that can't afford 10,000 times tens of millions of people, could be much better off if a guy like this is allowed to prosper, where he was able to do cataract operations for $80 an eye, and people would walk from all over India to get their cataract operations. And so he made, by being relatively free of government regulation and doing things in a completely different way, he was able to bring sight to millions and millions of people. So this is the kind of freedom that we could have. If we had more of that freedom here, we could have affordable, good health care. We could have almost eliminate, or certainly have a lot less poverty, and we'd all have a lot more resources to take care of each other. Instead, what we're going to get is we're going to get big Democrat government or big Republican government. They're going to steal from the whole productive society, give to those who are connected to themselves, and keep us all fighting with each other, so that because we all think that somebody else has got it and we don't, and if we could just take it from them, then we can be okay. Well, it's not going to work that way. We all have to stop trying to steal from each other and give each other the liberty to take care of each other. Because if the civilization continues to go the way it is, it's the most vulnerable, like myself and other blind folks and old folks, who are going to suffer the most. But my volunteer is an ex-Marine. If things go completely south, he'll be fun. He'll be fine, because that will be the rule of the gun, whether it's the state's gun or the people fighting the state. That's the route that we're taking, and that's very similar to the way things went in Germany in the 20s. And so we need to look at the history, and we need to look at ourselves and look around us and try a path to liberty. This is your last chance to vote Libertarian. They convinced the folks that we didn't need these third parties anymore, and so Proposition 14 took the opportunity for third parties like the Libertarians or the Greens to get on the final ballot. So this is your last chance to vote for somebody who's not a career politician and not already totally bought out. So thanks, folks, for listening.